Well, isn't that a very, very cool opening for our new endeavor here on the 19th hole? Hi, I'm Dennis Silvers. Welcome in. This is our launch broadcast of our 19th hole podcast for golfers. As you know, if you've been following me for years and years, I do some television, I do conventional AM, FM radio. But people have been telling me to get into the podcast space, so finally I acquiesced, and we're doing it. And we got a great show lined up for you. We're coming to you again from the great Rigel Studios, right in the heart of Las Vegas, moments away from the iconic Las Vegas Strip. Of course, in the entertainment capital of the world, that would be Las Vegas, Nevada. And our show's going to be just like before, except we're going to have faces to the names, and we're going to be talking to tour professionals. We're going to be talking to golf course architects and designers. We're going to be talking to golf writers, golf journalists, anybody who has an interesting story about the world of golf. We're going to try to bring that to you, and we hope that you get hooked on the show and watch it every time that we're on. We're going to be on dozens of social media platforms. We're going to be in national online newspapers. You're going to hear a lot from us, and we really, really want to blow this show up. And we'd love to hear from you. We'll send out an address pretty soon because we're finishing our website where you can email us some comments, good, bad, or indifferent. Maybe say, hey, Dennis, could you get this person on? Could you get that person on? Or you want to talk about this topic or that topic? More than happy to do it because we're going to try to cover all of the bases here on the 19th hole. So with that being said, we've got a phenomenal guest to kick off our launch on our podcast. And you probably recognize her if you've been playing the game of golf at all for a period of time. She was a standout back in the day when she played on the LPGA Tour. She's on the Legends Tour now, got a lot of other things going. So let me bring up right now and introduce my friend, and I'm so glad that she was able to make the show. Let's bring up Cindy Rarick. And Cindy, Happy New Year to you, number one. Thank you so much for taking the time out to come on our initial launch. I couldn't be happier.
Well, it's exciting for me to be on your show, Dennis. So thank you, and Happy New Year to you too.
Thank you very much. Let me tell everybody a little bit about Cindy before we get into the actual interview. Cindy was born in Minnesota. I hope I'm pronouncing that. But by the way, from Minnesota, so you must know Mike Lindell, the My Pillow guy, right? Who's on television every 3 minutes.
Right. I know of him. I have never met him.
Yeah. Quite a character. Anyway, from Minnesota, but found her way to attend college in Hawaii at the University of Hawaii. So how do you go from an area that's snowbound, cold, freezing, to beautiful Hawaii? Why did you pick Hawaii? Not that there's anything wrong to go to school in Hawaii.
Well, it was just a divine kind of connection type of thing. Well, when I was 10, my dad moved our family to Arizona. And those first 5 years, I didn't play golf. I was into horses. So I was showing horses. And my dad finally said after a couple of years, horses are too dangerous, too expensive, and it's too political, which is true. So he said, play tennis or golf. That way you know if it's your own ability, And so I played tennis for a year, my freshman year in high school. But nobody in my family plays tennis. So you always have to find a partner. My parents were weekend golfers. So my sophomore year, I went out for the boys golf team. And thankfully, the coach was very welcoming to me because there were no girls in the whole city of Tucson. One other gal played junior golf and played high school golf.
Wow.
She was at a different high school. So I played golf. I got some private lessons and improved quickly. And by 17, I won a Arizona State junior tournament. And then I started writing to colleges, and then I got a scholarship to the University of Hawaii, which was like a dream come true. I'm like, oh my God, I've never been anywhere, and especially across the Pacific Ocean. And it honestly changed my life, that whole experience of just going so far away from home at a young age and learning a lot growing up, But golf, really, my golf game and my passion for golf, that's where it exploded.
That's awesome. Well, we're going to talk about your amateur career because it was really quite stellar before you joined the LPGA Tour in 1985. And way back, Cindy, in 1985, wasn't that the last year that you were allowed to play with hickory shafts?
I don't
I
know.
mean, that was way back.
Boy, oh boy, you're making me sound like I'm ancient. Yeah, I don't know if that was a rule then or not, Dennis.
No, I know. Cindy has amassed a total of 7 professional wins, 5 which comes on the LPGA Tour. And I mentioned you had a terrific amateur career before turning professional. Cindy was a 1977 Arizona State junior champion, you mentioned. In 1978, won the Hawaii Women's Match Play Championship. And in 1979, you won the Stroke Play Championship title in Hawaii. So you must have been feeling a good vibe while you were in Hawaii. What was the cause of the good play?
Most definitely. Well, I remember my freshman year in college there, the coach just gave me, I don't even remember the tip, but it was a tip that immediately my stroke average dropped like 4 to 5 shots around. And I'm
Wow.
like, oh my gosh.
Wow.
And then, practicing that much and working on a few things, my game really improved. And then I really wanted to play as much competition as possible. And that was what the problem was going to school in Hawaii way back then, because the school did not have the budget to fly us back and forth to the mainland to compete that much collegiately. So I tried to play in any inter-island events or anything that I could play in. That's where I tried. Because if you're trying to play your best golf, the way to get there is by competition. You learn real quick where your weaknesses are and where your strengths are.
No doubt about it. No doubt about it. Great record as well in team appearances. I'm reading with winning the Handy Cup in 2006, 2007, 2008, 2009, 2010, 11, and 12. I mean, you made it an annuity of this tournament. And as a consequence, I think the tournament has been renamed Cindy's Annuity. You won the damn thing so many times. What was it about that tournament that just you connected with?
Well, actually, that particular tournament, the Honda Cup, was kind of like a Ryder Cup format, but it was against the world, because it wasn't just European players. We have so many international players on the Legends Tour that they made it the U.S. against the world. And so on that team, yes, and we were very fortunate. We were such a strong team starting out that we won it, 6 or 7 times in a row. And then all of a sudden, the world team got a little stronger, and then we ended up losing the Honda Cup. And then unfortunately, now the tournament's gone. So
yeah,
it's no longer. But it was a great event. Great to be a part of that team and represent the United States.
There was actually a Mr. Honda, wasn't there? If I'm not mistaken.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, that was named after that. No, that's terrific. Anyway, let's get into some interview questions for you, Cindy. Let's get right to the point, okay? Are the Americans playing on the LPGA Tour now ever going to dominate again? Because I seriously don't think they will. And if you agree, what's your reason?
Well, I kind of agree with you. And my reason would be is that you just see the work ethic of other people and other players around the world. And it just seems like they're a little bit more disciplined and devoted than some of the Americans. And maybe it's just because of the way we have been raised as American players. But the work ethic of other international players is so great. I mean, they will spend hours and hours and upon hours. And obviously it pays off. So I don't know if we'll ever see another American female player. I mean, it's definitely possible, but there's a lot of great American players out there now. But if one is going to dominate, I'm not really sure.
I just don't think they have the same amount of fire in the belly, Cindy, as you say, as the Asians, as some of the other European players that come over here. Would you agree with that? They want to win, sure, but they just can't get over the hump for some reason.
Yeah, there's a few players that have been very, very close, and you're right. Some have really broken through, but some just haven't quite gotten there. So it
Yeah.
could be the fire in the belly.
Yeah, I agree. It's going to be an interesting dialogue as we go along. Uh, Cindy, do you think there will ever be, I'm speaking monetarily now, ever be parity between the men's tour and the LPGA tour? And if not, why do you think that is? And do you think there should be?
Well,
You're judging.
unfortunately, Dennis,
You're actually judging two different products here. I know, but come
yeah.
on.
Well, unfortunately, I don't think there ever will be parity because it hasn't happened by now. And, women's golf has been around. I mean, the LPGA Tour has been around almost 70 years now. And if the prize money has not become equal with the guys by now, I don't think it'll ever happen. But secondly, I think one of the reasons why is because the TV rights with the PGA Tour, they've just got great TV contracts,
Yeah.
and that's what kind of helps boost their purses.
True. That's true. But do you think when it comes to the TV rights and when it comes to meeting face to face with the sponsors, it's just that much harder to get more money out of these people vis-a-vis the product?
Well, I just think that maybe they're not getting the bang for their buck that they want through the LPGA,
Yeah.
whether it's the telecasts or who knows what it is. It's just for some reason somebody's not out there really knocking down the doors to the marketing people to try to get behind the LPGA to get the purses up. And we see that with our Legends Tour. It's just very difficult for our tour even to get sponsors. So I'm not sure what the solution is. I wish I knew it because maybe we could solve the problem if we knew the solution.
Well, Cindy, I don't want to hear that because I'm putting your name forward into the pot to be the new LPGA Tour commissioner. Mike Wan is stepping down. So let's go woo. If Cindy was the commissioner for a day, what changes would you make to try to get more money, try to get more events, try to get more sponsors, kick the girls in the butt and say, you need to do this, you need to do that? What's the biggest thing you would have to do?
I would think just try to get more events on TV, more airtime, just more airtime. That's what you see with the PGA Tour every single weekend, and they're on for several hours. If it starts on the Golf Channel, it goes to NBC or vice versa, or these other networks. I just think it's, being in front of people more often than not is the key.
Okay, I agree. There's no doubt about it. The more eyes you have on something, the better that you're going to do. Let me just follow up with this, and then we'll take a short first break. If I'm not mistaken, at one time the LPGA could have had a chance to be under the umbrella of the PGA Tour, and it turned it down, so to speak. They wanted to be their own island, their own entity, if I'm correct about that. And if I am, do you think that was a mistake?
I do think it was a mistake. I wish myself and so many of my colleagues, we wish we would have been under the PGA umbrella. Our tour would have changed drastically 20 years ago because, when I was out, possibly even more than that, that would have been the best move for the LPGA to be under the PGA umbrella because they just have their tentacles out there. They've just got reaches with all the sponsors that they've had. They've had winning formulas in place with their pension. All these guys that have played the tour forever, their pensions are wonderful. And ours honestly is not. And so there's a lot of reasons why I wish we would have been under the PGA umbrella. And I don't know if it'll ever happen now because they're such a strong entity on their own. They don't need the LPGA. It would only be bringing us along just because they might feel sorry for us or something, that maybe that's why they would accept us, but who knows?
Yeah, I know. And it's it would have been interesting to see if that happened, where you guys would have been today, because like you say, let's say they've got the resources, they've got the connections, they've got the strength, and it could have been a whole other thing. So anyway, all right, we're going to step away, take a short break. We come back a lot more with our very special guest, former tour player, Cindy Rarick, and right now we're going to get into our game improvement tip of the week, brought to you by Scratch Golf Academy. A few commercials. We'll be back right after this.
Welcome, Adam Bazalgette here, founder of Scratch Golf Academy, for the 19th hole weekend edition game tip of the week. Today, let's look at swing plane. I have a 7-iron here. Now, without doubt, the majority of golfers come down what we call too steeply. That's to stay too much in front of their body, too much on top of the ball. And I believe the underlying reason for that is they mentally, without realizing it, they aim at the ball. Whatever your mind sees that it wants to hit, it goes straight towards it. Now, your target should be over there, but people look at that golf ball and they want to hit it and they go directly towards it. So here's a drill I think that'll help you. Instead of swinging to the ball, swing the club down more so that it then comes underneath your body and out towards the target. Set up with the ball on a tee as I've done here. Get your bearings to the ball, make a 3/4 backswing, and simply swing down towards the ground. You can even tap the ground if you like here. Should have a nice flowing rhythm like I'm popping a towel there. And once you've done a couple of swings down, just go ahead and make your body move. Doesn't matter if you hit the ball solidly, you'll probably find the ball anyway, but it teaches you the feeling that the start of the downswing is more down, not towards the ball.
Dr. Christopher Choi has long been recognized as one of the top concierge doctors in Las Vegas. Dr. Choi and the entire staff at Comprehensive Wellness Center have earned the reputation of unsurpassed medical care and service to all of their patients. In a continuing effort to always advance his practice, Dr. Choi is now offering an additional service to his current patients, as well as new patients. It's the latest, most advanced laser therapy treatment available. It's true, being in great physical health is very important, but so is the mental boost you get when you know you look your best. Whether you want to lose those wrinkles, diminish those acne scars, decrease pigmentation, skin tightening, or permanent fat reduction, this procedure is the answer. You'll have peace of mind knowing there is no actual surgery and no downtime. You just get results with these amazing laser treatments. You might wonder if it hurts? The answer is no. All you feel is a slight tingly feeling during the procedure. You'll love the results. Call Comprehensive Wellness Center at 702-463-8080.
As golfers, we want instant gratification when it comes to a better golf swing and playing better golf. Impossible, you say? Not anymore. Golf Boost Artificial Intelligence, AI, has developed and patented the most advanced swing analysis technology in golf. Simply, the algorithms detect your body position and then analyze your golf swing using their artificial intelligence technology. The AI captures all the relevant data from your swing video and then presents you a personalized lesson. Golf Boost AI is the ultimate swing analysis and virtual instruction system for golfers of all ages and abilities. This sophisticated software takes into consideration your height and build, playing level, and returns the ideal solution for your swing. Bottom line, Golf Boost AI is an incredibly convenient and cost-effective tool for golfers to improve their swing. Go to golfboost.com and check it out. The app is free to download and try. Visit golfboost.com today.
Innovation begins at a single point. Elements, each with their unique character. Fire-forged steel creates unprecedented control. Chemistry delivers a touch so soft, combined to create a level of performance previously unimagined. Like magic, the Elixir, the new tour ball from Encore.
All right, welcome back, everybody, to the continuation of our launch of the 19th Hole podcast for golfers. By the way, that Golf Boost app, check it out. It is the most amazing thing you could be anywhere and you could get help on your golf swing in any kind of area you could think of, like in a matter of seconds. It's incredible. So I highly recommend that you do that. Anyway, speaking of incredible, we're going to continue with our incredible guest, lovely, lovely lady, Cindy Rarick from the Tucson area. And Cindy, as you're aware, the PGA Tour is full of stories highlighting certain players. Tiger Woods, Bryson DeChambeau, Justin Thomas, and others. What do the ladies have to do to get that same vibe?
Well, I think they should do some special shows or interviews with some of the players, just showing them behind the scenes, not only what they're working on for their golf profession, but so many of the women have other interests or whatever they're doing to get themselves where they're at with their game. I mean, if they wanted to keep it related to golf, but so many people want to know the human interest story behind the athlete. And I think that those are always good stories. I don't know if you remember the show on the Golf Channel years ago called Profiles of a Pro.
Yes.
And they did men and women, and they were just what their other hobbies were or other passions were. And it was quite exciting. And it was a great half-hour show that was very popular. I would like to see it come back.
Well, I agree with you and I disagree with you. And I remember the show well. And as far as the men go, Cindy, the things that the men did outside of playing golf for a living were primarily two things: fishing and having kids. So I think it's boring after a while. You know, they were procreating.
Well, Duffy Waldorf had a real long show on his wine collection.
I know. Yeah. Duffy's a very good friend of mine. His dad, Jim, who's a lawyer, is a good friend of mine. That's where Duffy picked up his wine thing, and great guy. He's a great, and his wife is terrific too. Tell us about your involvement. I don't think maybe a lot of viewers all around are familiar with this, as they should be. Your involvement with the Legends Tour, where you have a victory, by the way. What is the Legends Tour? How did it come about? How's it running? Where do you go? Things like that.
Well, the Legends Tour came about years ago, and Jane Blaylock started it, which was, we're all very thankful and grateful to her, because otherwise we wouldn't have what we now call the Legends Tour. It started out being called the Senior Women's Golf Tour, I believe was the original name, because it started before I got out there. But it was our version of the Champions Tour. So it was the senior women that formerly played the LPGA Tour. And so it got started, and it for a while it got momentum, and then all of a sudden, with the economy and other things, something happened, and now there's only a couple tournaments. But where you can go to find out where we're at is thelegendstour.com. And this year we're going to have a Senior Women's Open by the USGA, which will be in Connecticut in July, and then we have the Senior LPGA Championship in French Lick, Indiana. And that'll be in August. But otherwise, our tournaments are kind of few and far between right now, because we're still having that problem with trying to find sponsors and money. And it's just kind of a hard hill to climb.
Yeah. Who's responsible for actually going out and trying to find more tournaments, trying to find venues, trying to find sponsors? Is there a committee, so to speak?
There's a commissioner now, and her name is Jane Geddes.
Right.
It was Jane Blaylock, and now Jane Geddes, former LPGA player. She has been appointed the commissioner of our tour, and I don't think she's got a marketing team behind her. I think it might just be her as well, and then they want us, the players, to kind of go out, and if we have connections, bring those connections back to the offices and see if there's any leads.
Okay. You have a history with Jane, don't you? Didn't you win a couple of tournaments from her in a playoff?
No, not with Jane.
I thought it was with Jane.
In a playoff. Yeah, no.
I'm sorry.
That's
sorry.
okay.
Well, you should have.
Yes. That's
so,
right.
So she needs some help then, obviously.
Yeah. This whole tour, the Legends Tour, it's full of great women players. Several World Golf Hall of Fame members that are on this tour.
Yeah.
It's the names that people know and remember. And so there's a lot of talent, and there's a lot of stories, because a lot of these women who, after leaving the LPGA, went out and did other things and we're very successful at those types of things. Speaking of Jan Stevenson, she's in the wine business now. She owns her own golf course.
Right.
She's in the distilling business. So she's got a lot of other things going. And there's several other players like her that are doing other things that some are golf related and some aren't.
Okay. Would you do me a favor and send me Jane's contact information so I could get a hold of her? Maybe I could help her out a little bit and give her some direction.
Great. Yeah, I'd be happy to do that.
Yeah, I'd like that a lot. How much difference is there now, Cindy, as opposed to 85 when you joined the tour? How much difference is there between then and now, both in players, golf courses, strategy, if you will, the whole gamut? What's the biggest difference between when you started and today with the women?
Well, now there are just so many more resources out there to not only condition your body better, the nutrition level, the exercises, and you said the golf courses are in better condition, the equipment's better. I mean, everything's better. And there's just things more at your fingertips to become a better player and to make travel easier. There's just so many things that enable you to be a better player more consistently, I would say, week in and week out.
Okay. Yeah. Well, that makes sense. That makes sense. Absolutely. Let's turn to major championships. You played in a number of majors. Did you prepare any differently for a major than you did for a regular tour event? And how would you summarize your record in major championships? I mean, I know what it is. It's not horrible by any means. I know you would like it to have been a little bit better, but
yeah.
What is the mindset when you go into a major as opposed to something like the Corning Classic or something like that,
Right. Well, there is like this added pressure of playing a major because it makes more of an impact if you win. Your life kind of changes if you win a major.
Yeah.
And versus just a regular tournament. And yeah, you're right. My record in majors wasn't that great. Maybe I didn't prepare differently enough. You always try to prepare for the course that you're going to be playing because,
sure.
If you're playing over in Europe in the British Open, you're going to prepare differently than you're playing at the LPGA Championship in Cincinnati, Ohio. But actually, for never winning a major, at least I can say I finished in the top 10 in all 4 majors. So
Yep.
I'm not too disappointed with that. But yes, I mean, you always want to have better finishes than what you've ever had if you didn't win.
Absolutely. Speaking of that, why didn't you ever play in the Open? Why weren't
The
you
British,
ever
I
going?
did. I finished third.
Oh, did you? I'm sorry.
Yeah, it was a great story. We played at Woburn, Milton Keynes, England.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Oh, that's okay. I finished third there, and that was great. And then I finished fourth at the Dinah Shore. I finished fifth at the LPGA Championship
Right.
and eighth at the U.S. Women's Open.
Right. Okay. I must have had one glass of wine from Silvara too many, and overlooked that on your on your.
Okay, I'll
on
let
your
that slide, Dennis.
Speaking of that, how did you become involved with Silvara Vineyards? Tell people
Well,
what
years
that's all about too.
Okay, Silvara Vineyards was an idea from a dear, dear friend of mine, and he wanted to get out of the technology business in Scottsdale. We went on a road trip through Napa, and he said, this is what I want to do. I want to become a winemaker. I want to get out of the tech business. So he sold his business in Scottsdale, but he realized that the California real estate was much too expensive to try to become, build a winery and become a winemaker there. So we went up to Washington, and he found some property and fell in love with it, and we bought a 5-acre parcel, built a beautiful tasting room and event center. And so it's not a real working winery because where we're located, it's not really in the wine area where all the grapes and the vineyards are.
Right.
That's more in the central southern part of the state. But it's been a lot of fun, and we started it. We bought the property in 2008, we opened in 2009, and it's been thriving ever since. And actually, surprisingly, throughout this year of COVID, business has never been better. I think
Wow.
that whether people are happy or sad, people still enjoy drinking. So that's a good thing.
Yeah, that's a very good thing. All right, so where can I find it? Can I walk into Vons and find it? Where can I get it?
Well, unfortunately, you can't, Dennis. The best way to do it would be go to www.silvara.com or silvaravineyards.com, or just look it up online. And there's an online store, but you can get it right through the tasting room. So you come up to Leavenworth, Washington, and that's where it's located. Come into the tasting room and buy some wine there. Otherwise, you can buy it online.
Where is Leavenworth near, Cindy?
Near Wenatchee, Washington. So it's about 2.5 hours. Yeah, apples, pears, and cherries.
Yeah.
It's about 2.5 hours east of Seattle, over the Cascade Mountains.
Oh, gotta be beautiful.
It's absolutely stunning. Yeah, if people haven't ventured out to see that, it's a great part of the state.
So if I go online and order, and I say I'm a very close friend of Cindy Rarick, do I get a huge discount or what?
You might get a discount, yeah. Call and talk to the manager. She knows. Yeah. You'll get some kind of a discount, Dennis.
Oh, and just to finish up, you sell both red and white.
Yes, we do.
Okay.
Every year is different depending upon what the best fruit is. There's Chenin Blancs, Sauvignon Blancs, Pinot Grigio. We even did a rosé, but then there's some red blends. Also a Cabernet that stands alone, Merlot's on itself. But the red blends are usually Bordeaux blends, which consist of Cab, Merlot, Malbec, and whether it's a Petit Verdot or something like that that's added in. But lots of great wines up there. Washington is giving California
a run for their money. Oh, absolutely.
Yes.
If I'm not mistaken, I think you've got a bottle or two right by you. Can you hold those up and show everybody the label?
Yep. This is the new label. Oopsie. There we go.
There you
Turning it the
go.
wrong way.
Okay.
This is the Sauvignon Blanc.
Okay.
And I don't have any reds here today, but this is also a Pinot Grigio, but this was the older label. Oops. I keep turning it the wrong way.
Okay.
Yep.
That's nice.
But I highly recommend people to come up and visit because it's a lot of fun, and it's a great spot.
How often are you there?
I live in Washington State about 6 or 7 months a year, and I spend the other 4 or 5 here in Arizona.
Okay. Gotcha. That's nice. So you're there often. All right, turning, well, you know what? Let's step away, Cindy. Let me take our last break. We'll come back.
Okay.
We'll finish up the show with you. Got a few other questions for you, and we will continue our conversation. So stay with us. More of the 19th Hole podcast coming right after this.
As golfers, we want instant gratification when it comes to a better golf swing and playing better golf. Impossible, you say? Not anymore. Golf Boost Artificial Intelligence, AI, has developed and patented the most advanced swing analysis technology in golf. Simply, the algorithms detect your body position and then analyze your golf swing using their artificial intelligence technology. The AI captures all the relevant data from your swing video and then presents you a personalized lesson. Golf Boost AI is the ultimate swing analysis and virtual instruction system for golfers of all ages and abilities. This sophisticated software takes into consideration your height and build, playing level, and returns the ideal solution for your swing. Bottom line, Golf Boost AI is an incredibly convenient and cost-effective tool for golfers to improve their swing. Go to golfboost.com and check it out. The app is free to download and try. Visit golfboost.com today.
Hey golfers, I've been a golf talk show host for a long time, and I've been playing golf even longer. Being in golf media, I've had the chance to play every ball ever made. I've tried them all. Well, my search is finally over because I found the best ball I have ever played with, and more golfers are finding the same thing. I started playing with the Elixir golf ball made by Encore Golf. Encore Golf has revolutionized both their golf balls, the Elixir or the Avant 55, or the brand new Vero X1, to where the performance of either will simply blow you away. It did me. If you're looking for better performance and durability with your ball, Encore Golf has it. Don't just take my word for it. Check them out at encoregolf.com and you'll become convinced, as I am, the first time you tee it up with Encore. It's the best performing ball for the price. Go to encoregolf.com and see for yourself. Your scores will love you for it. That's ONCORE golf.com.
One of the buzzwords happening in golf is the word lag. You hear it all the time, but what is it, and how do I get it? Lag simply is the loading of the club to help produce tons of power in your golf swing. Up until now, getting lag into your swing has been very hard. Introducing the lag shot, a brand new proven training aid being praised by some of the leading PGA Tour instructors across the globe. This practice aid trains your hands, arms and body how to make a powerful, efficient golf swing with an amazing amount of lag. Lag Shot is a 7-iron length club with the same loft and lie with a whippy, flexible blue shaft and a beautiful jet black club head. After you master the Lag Shot, your game will change forever with a stress-free swing, more power and more distance with lower scores every time you play. Go to lagshotgolf.com and you'll see why this truly is becoming the #1 training aid in golf. Visit lagshotgolf.com.
All right, I told you we were coming back, and we are. We're back with Cindy Rarick, our special guest, having a great conversation. And Cindy, I mentioned it a little bit earlier before. Mike Wan, who's been the commissioner of the LPGA for a number of years now, who's done a very credible job. He is stepping down for whatever reason, and the search is on for a new commissioner. And that search is being conducted by a number of players that are on the search committee that, play on the tour, and Julie Inkster, and I think Michelle Wee, for some reason, was named. But anyway, what would you like to see? What criteria do you want to see in a new commissioner?
That's a tough question.
That's why I get the big bucks, Cindy.
Yeah.
These are no softball interviews, dear.
Boy, that's for sure. I would like to see whoever the new commissioner is try to get the prize money up. I mean, the ladies travel just like the men, as far as, it's just very demanding to travel the way we travel. And the guys, they all fly privately now, which makes their life so much easier. It'd be nice if the ladies would make more money and they could afford to travel privately as well. Yep. That would just change a lot for the women. Just that alone would be great. But so if the prize money could come up, if the pension could get fixed, whatever the problem is there, that'd be nice. And they've still got several tournaments on their schedule. So I don't know if they want to increase their schedule. I don't know if that's their goal. I'm really not sure what the players out there are wanting these days.
Yeah, no, that's a good point. And obviously the financial rewards are very important too. And that was spoken like a true woman. It's all about the money. I want more money. I want more money. Give me. Anyway, but I agree with you. What's been the effect, do you think, of not having a gallery or a minimal amount of people watching golf tournaments because of COVID? Do you think that's a distraction to the players? Do you think it helps them? How do you see that?
Well, I've heard it on both sides. I think for the PGA Tour players, they're probably welcoming not having as many spectators out there, because I think there's so many that attend the PGA events that, it can be a distraction, a big distraction. But the Champions Tour, I've talked to so many of those guys, and they're like, man, we miss the fans, we miss the support, we miss the energy. Yeah. And, plus people want to see those older players, because they're not going to be around as long as some of the new young Justin Thomases and Dustin Johnsons of the world. Yeah. So the Champions Tour, they've had so much of the gallery all throughout their career that they thrive with it. But the PGA Tour, because of the sheer numbers that attend these events, like for example, the Waste Management in Phoenix, Arizona, the biggest PGA event in the whole world, has about 200,000 people a day attending. Yeah. Well, they used to, but with COVID this year, I don't even know. I think they're going to limit the spectators. I'm not even sure if they're allowing any. I just don't know what the situation is there, but it makes a big difference.
It makes a huge difference. And I know the Masters is allowing a very minimal amount of people. Be interesting to see who gets invited out, but it is what it is. Finally, before I let you go, you're involved with Sanford, and we have a mutual friend. Tell people what Sanford is, what your involvement is, how that came about.
Okay. Well, I'm involved with Sanford in a couple different areas. Originally, I've been on the Sanford International Board, and that is dealing with some of the international endeavors that Sanford Health is involved in. So they have international clinics in different countries, and so I've been on the board there, board of directors, for several years now. And the last 2 years, I was the chairman of that board. I'm going to remain on the board for another couple years. But recently, I've been invited to be a part of the Sanford Golf Academy, which I'm very thrilled and excited about because, first of all, it is a fantastic facility that are offering, the Midwest doesn't have that much. They're really not known so much for their golf, especially in Sioux Falls, South Dakota.
Right.
But they designed and built this beautiful facility, and it's called Great Shots. But in the bottom, there's the academy. And we'll be working with all kinds of students, whether they're kids or adults. But it's going to be a great opportunity to help people.
Absolutely. And we have a mutual friend, Todd Kolb, who's the director of instruction there. He's really, really good. Are you prepared to teach? And I don't mean that in a bad way, but a lot of former tour players go to teaching, and sometimes you have to wonder whether they have the qualifications to be a good instructor to a lot of different kind of people.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, I think just from the sheer background of playing the tour for 24 consecutive years and having all the tour experience and playing the game so many days a week for years and years and years, you have the experience and the knowledge to be able to share with people. But also, I am a member of the teaching division of the LPGA, so I have the real credentials to go with it. But in the past, Jan Stevenson, we mentioned her before, a very good friend of mine. She and I have done some golf schools together in the past, and we do clinics and different things like that. So I feel very confident that I have the ability and the knowledge to help people.
Yeah, well, I think Jan, if I'm not mistaken, Jan would be considered more of a drinking buddy of yours, right? Than
well, I don't know. Maybe we're shopping buddies because she
or shopping buddies. Yeah, no, that's great. All right, so if I came to you for a lesson, Cindy, do I get a rate? Do I get a media rate or what?
Yeah, we can negotiate the rate there, Dennis.
We'll negotiate the rate. Okay. Man, I can't wait till you get out of here. That's going to be great. Anyway, Cindy, thank you so much for your time. You look great. I'm glad that you're healthy and things are going well for you. And we look to talk to you sooner than later and have you back on the show sooner or later because I just think you're a terrific guest, and I'm glad that we're going to be able to stay in touch.
Great, Dennis. Well, thank you so much for having me, and best of luck with your show. It's a lot of fun.
Thank you very much. Thanks, Cindy. I appreciate it. Cindy Rarick, everybody, just a great lady. She's a wonderful player, has a terrific record professionally, and she does a lot of good stuff. So anyway, that's going to wrap up our first edition of the 19th Hole podcast for golfers, brought to you by Golf Boost and Encore Golf. We hope you enjoyed it. We're going to be back here every week with another terrific guest talking about whatever. So until then, play some golf, keep it in the short stuff, fairways and greens, make some putts. I'm Dennis Silvers, and we'll see you next time. So long, everybody.